Chapter 9. A New Friend. Eustace was right. On the other side of the stables was a jumbled pile of bricks. I wonder why Teacher Lord Humby lied about the stones. I think that girl Elisa is wrong, and he wants to be rid of me. Lanoya glanced back and forth from the pile to the wall. Her arms tingled, and she smiled. I can make stairs with the rocks to get over the wall. The energy coursed through her veins, and she picked the perfect sized stones to create each step. The blue dress continually snagged on the edges of the bricks. Lanoya tripped over the loose fabric. She fell to the ground, scraping her hands and tearing the cloth on her injured wrist. Ah, this stupid dress! Her wrists throbbed as she tore the leathers off the blue robes and ripped the dress off as well. I wish I had my trousers. They kept my legs warm and did not get in the way of my climbing. She glanced down at the yellow sleep dress. It is too long, and it has tears at the bottom. Her spine tingled, and Lanoya pulled the skirt up. If I can tear the dress, maybe I can use the leathers to turn them into trousers. A tug at the tear in the bottom spread all the way up to her thighs. She used a slab of rock to start the tear on the back. Lanoya twisted the fabric around one leg, like trousers. The leathers worked to tie the ends around her ankle. She repeated the process on her other leg. This made this makes them big and breezy, like that baggy blanket dress. I hope it will not catch on anything while I finish the stairs. The energy flowing through her masked the ache in her wrists, along with the heat from the light beating down on her, and the hunger she would otherwise have felt. Finally, Lanoya stood atop the wall to survey her work and the surrounding area. The extra energy used to build the makeshift stairs seeped out of her. She panted. Her mouth was dry, and her wrist ached. The cloth had fallen off her wrist and was lost in the pile of bricks. Her strength spent, she sank down onto the wall, and it had a flat brick surface about as wide as Lanoya. She sat and surveyed the land beyond. The trees from her first even mirrored the wall around the palace. A wide dirt path ran between them. Lanoya could not see where the path led to, or where her village was. How am I supposed to go home if I don't know which way it is? The beautiful trees hide whatever lies on the other side. She laid down on her back. The bright rays of light hurt her eyes. Lanoya placed her arm over them. Her wrists throbbed, the scratches on her hands stung, her legs ached, and the stones bore into her back. Sleeping during the sun in the alley with my blanket was so much easier. Building the stairs was exhausting. The only way down will be to throw stones over and climb down. But where would I go? Tears slid back into her ears. I hate this place, and all the people from Thayers hate me. The people here hate me, but insist I belong here. This place makes no sense. I do not know where I can go and be left alone to make my creations. Her thoughts were interrupted by something poking into her side. She uncovered her eyes and glared down at the boy, disturbing her musings. Who are you, and what do you want? The frumpy boy placed his fingers over his eyebrows to block the light. What are you doing up there? You could fall off and get hurt. Lanoya winced as she sat up. I asked you first. He sighed. You are not one of those watchers, are you? Lanoya growled and inched down the misshapen stairs toward him. He was at least a head taller. The light blinded her, so she was unable to get a clear image of his face. I hate this place. Why do the people here expect me to be out in the light? And why will no one let me sleep in it? He laughed. Sleep while the light is out? Land, you must be insane. Lanoya tried to push past him, but her legs gave out and she collapsed instead. He knelt down next to her, casting a shadow across her face. Are you all right? I doubt he cares. A loud chuckle resonated behind the boy. She peered around him to see an old man with a smooth, round face striding towards them. He shouted out to them, I've brought you some food and water. Although the horse trough has much more water, you can climb in it, clothes and all, to cool off if you would like. The light glistened in his eyes as he held out a cloth-covered tray. I am too old to get down there with you. Eat up, and you will feel better soon. That is, until Selena sets eyes on you and drugs you again. The boy snatched the tray away. I would not trust anything coming from the chapel. They claim to hold all the powers of the land. They see all, know all, and can do all. They will control you if you let them. The old man's belly moved when he laughed. Admon is the stable boy. He is in charge of the horses and guarding this side of the palace wall. It is his job to keep all the learners in and all the regular people out. Is that not right, Admon? The smell of food from the tray wafted into Lanoya's nose. I have eaten in the chapel before, and nothing bad happened. I only slept when Selena tricked me into drinking that disgusting stuff. See, Adamon said, and threw the tray behind him. They are trying to control you. He might be right about that, but the old man is also right. I am hungry. She crawled over to the fallen food and stuffed it into her mouth before Edmond can take it away again. Her mouth was too dry to chew or swallow properly. Food spewed out when she asked, "Water?" The happy old man pointed to the side of the stable's trough. Lanoya's legs were still weak, but she managed to wobble over to the trough and started scooping water out. It melted the food in her mouth and soothed her lips. She leaned over to climb in and then stopped. This is a tub made of wood and no soap. She glanced back at the old man. Is he trying to trick me into taking a bath again? I hope Sabine is not around here. She will scrub my skin raw. Edmond sat on the edge of the trough. You ate the food and drank the horse's water, just like he told you to. Teacher Devon is the trickiest of them all. Of all them teachers in the chapel, I would stay away if I was you. Teacher Devon, I've heard that name before. That woman, Teacher Starlee, she said my power is as strong as his. But if I have a power and it is as strong as his, can he really control me? Teacher Devon patted Edmond's shoulder. You are not wrong, son. Although Lanoya here is one of us. She thinks she can run away from it. Maybe you could set her straight. Edmond's eyes opened wide. A teacher? There is no way she's a teacher. And she certainly is not a learner either. Lanoya wiped the water from her face. They are punishing me for turning the flowers into stars. I just want a place to be left alone where I can recreate all the images I have seen here. Perhaps you could help me with that. He jumped back. Wait, you turned flowers into stars? You're one of them? How can that be? She shook her head. I am not one of them. I am trying to get away from here, away from the chapel, the palace, and all the rules, the expectations, and people telling me how to do things. Teacher Devon smiled and leaned toward her. You are better than all the other learners, all the other imitators in the chapel, including Teacher Lord Humby. I'm guessing if Teacher Lord Halleck were here, he would say they are all jealous of you and afraid you will put them in their proper place. Edmond stared at him. You think she is better than them? He pointed to the wall. She is trying to sleep on a wall in the middle of the sun. That is not running away or hiding. Not that she could hide from you if she tried. Teacher Devon sighed. Edmond's parents died last season. His father was over the stables. King Alfredo was generous enough to let Edmond take his place. Unlike you, he knew who his parents were. He has learned that this place is not as strange or terrible without them as he thought it would be. Given enough seasons, you will realize that this place is far better than your silly old alley. He strolled past them towards the chapel and waved a hand in the air. If you really want a place to hide, that room in the basement is nice. If you draw the wall, I will not be able to find it. Lanoya turned to Edmond. That lilt in his voice means it is a trick, right? Edmond sat down next to her. Was he lying? Do you really not know your parents? She stared at the dirt on the ground. I only remember the alley and my blanket. The people stayed away from me. I was only allowed out during the even when they were sleeping. Edmond put his arm around her shoulders. Teacher Devon will still be able to find you in the basement room, he mentioned. I think he means he will not tell the others where you are, and he believes that they will not find you. If you really have no home, and you have a power of the land, then perhaps you do belong here. Lanoya pushed away from him. You said they would try to control me. They keep telling me what to do and then making fun of how I do it. Now, because I am an orphan, I should be grateful and stay to be mocked? I think not. She stood up and marched over to the pile of bricks, now to get down the other side. Adamon followed her. The teachers are supposed to teach you how to use your powers to help the kingdom and its people. Not all of them do that, and not all the learners leave with that idea. The teachers are considered to be the most powerful people in the kingdom. They answer only to the king. You come from nothing. They could give you everything. Lanoya stared at the chapel. The hidden room with its strange stones could be an excellent place to hide. I could sleep there when the light is out and not have to cover my eyes. She bit her lower lip. I do not know where there is another place to live with this much food and so many interesting things to draw. If I get over the wall, I will be free of this place and its rules, but where will I sleep, and what about things to draw with? I cannot live without drawing all the things I have seen, and I must know what those stones in the basement do. If I stay, I will not become a teacher or take lessons from them. I will need help making a drawing and hanging it in the chapel, and I will need a place to stay until it is finished. Is that something you will do?" Edmond chuckled. "I like that you are trying to defy them. I will help any way I can." Lanoya smiled. "Good. I will need to get the canvas and paints from the chapel." She tapped her chin with her fingers. "Ooh, and I will need to hold it over the door so I can get the colors and the lines right." Edmond gulped. "You want me to go inside the chapel? I thought you just wanted a way out." Lanoya glared at him. "Were you not listening? Teacher Devon said I could hide in the basement. I have to draw the wall to hide the door." Edmond shook his head and took a step back. "So you are going to do what the teacher said. You are letting him control you." Tears stung her eyes, and she glanced at the chapel. "I saw the stones. I saw the symbols. There is something more to that room." She turned back to Edmond. "Where else am I supposed to go? I do not know my way back to Thayer's, and I do not like the people here. At least Teacher Devon offered a place for me to hide. What do you have to offer?" Edmond stared at her and shrugged his shoulders. "I still do not trust them, nor do I understand anything you are talking about. I am certain I will regret this. But if it gets you a place to hide, and you promise to keep those teachers away from me, I will do it." She squealed. "Thank you. We can go after the light is gone. Is there somewhere I can sleep till then?" Edmond shook his head and shied away. "Oh no, I am not sneaking in there when they're all sleeping. You are allowed in there now, and you can keep the teachers away." Lanoya's eyes widened. "You want me to keep working in the light?" He nodded. She growled. "Fine. We'll go get the drawing supplies and come back out here. Then I am going to sleep. I will work on it in the even while you sleep." She stormed off, and Edmond trailed behind her.